If there is any outward bursts or anything else like this and any disruption to this court, as you can see, my sheriffs are around the inner part of the courtroom. You will be arrested immediately and taken into custody. The reason, and let me give you the reasons for this too. We have these wonderful people and our alternates here who have taken the time out of their life, and we all know just you come back from a small vacation or some kind of work trip, how we have to catch up, and they have to catch up. And they've done things, and this is not the easiest decisions to make in the world. So I don't want anybody second guessing them. They've done an outstanding job. We all have to be proud of their accomplishments as citizens of Cook County. So again, what I want you to do is look into your heart. And if you can withstand the verdicts, please stay. But if you think you can't, I want you to leave, because there will be a zero tolerance at this time, because I'm not going to have these people disrespected. And thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. All right. And anybody else? All right. I know this isn't going to be easy, so I'm, asking you again to look into your heart. If you think you're not capable of this, then please leave, and we'll let you back in after the verdict. All right. We all ready? And I want to. All right. What I want to do too is we've had members from the media, both broadcast and press journalists. They've just been fantastic. Everybody's been really outstanding. The reporting on this has been very important because we need transparency, and especially a case like this. And I really want to compliment the media chairs. They've just been great. They've been very cooperative. We had a great session the other day with the two jurors, the alternate jurors that were excused, and we're allowed, to have the interview with them. I'm going to see if we can get another interview going with the rest of the jurors and with our wonderful alternates here. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate your interest, and again, thank you for the press. You've been outstanding. All right, bring the jury out, please.
All rise for the jury.
We good? Okay, thank you. Will everybody please be seated? Will the foreperson please rise? Has the jury reached verdicts?
Yes, they have.
Thank you very much. Could you give Jessica the jury verdict forms and just have a seat? Appreciate that. I like your jury. You're wearing them like necklaces. It's fantastic. That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain certain things so you'll understand the verdicts a little bit better. All right, the charges in this case were first-degree murder, 16 counts of aggravated battery, and 1 count of official misconduct. There also, the defense had asked for the instructions and the jury verdict form on second-degree murder. All right. Let me explain the process here. Before anybody can get to second-degree murder, the state must prove each and every elements of first-degree murder. There is no bypassing that and going directly to second-degree murder. As pointed out by one of our wonderful professors, Professor Kling, who's in the audience during his lectures, second-degree murder is a combination of first-degree murder plus a mitigating factor. It is not really technically a lesser included offense because it demands another set of proof, which would be the proof by the defense or the defendant going forward by preponderance of the evidence. So with this understanding, will you please read the verdicts?
Yes. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of second-degree murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, first shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, second shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, third shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, fourth shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, fifth shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, sixth shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, seventh shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, eighth shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, ninth shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, tenth shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, 11th shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, 12th shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, 13th shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, 14th shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, 15th shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, guilty of aggravated battery with a firearm, 16th shot. We, the jury, find the defendant, Jason Van Dyke, not guilty of official misconduct. 12 signatures.
At this time, Mr. Herbert.
Judge, we do not hold the jury.
Could I have the attorneys over here for a second, please? Thank you. Mr. Herbert.
Your Honor, at this time we'd ask to hold the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is, a new experience for you, but when anybody has been convicted of a criminal offense in the state of Illinois by a jury trial, the person that has been convicted has an absolute right to poll the jury. This was a remedy decided by our Illinois Supreme Court. And the purpose of this is in case somebody was forced to sign a jury verdict form in the jury room. And this gave that individual the opportunity to be in the public and say, no, this wasn't my verdict form. So it's an absolute right. So the question will be, was this then and is now, this now your verdict? Meaning, was that then in the jury room and is this now your verdict? So at this time, Tony?
Yes. Juror 240, were those then and are these now your verdicts? Juror 241, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 242, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 243, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 244, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 245, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 246, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 247, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 248, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 249, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Juror 250, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
And Juror 251, were those then and are these now your verdicts?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, John and Jessica, will you take our wonderful people of the jury and our three wonderful alternates back to the jury room, please?
All rise for the jury.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be seated? At this time, I'd like to express my appreciation for everybody who participated in this trial and also for the public that are here today. I know, depending on what side that you really favored, it wasn't easy for the, excuse me, for this verdict to come in. And I appreciate what your restraint that you used today. It makes me very proud to be a citizen of the city of Chicago and also the county of Cook, so thank you. At this time, state.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to revoke defendant Jason Van Dyke's bond.
Mr. Herbert.
Judge, we would ask that the motion for the state to be denied. We would ask that in light of the fact that my client is not found guilty of first-degree murder, we would ask for a bond review. In the alternative, we would ask if we could come back next week for a bond.
Mr. McMahon.
Judge, I would object to that. The defendant's been convicted of 16 counts of aggravated battery with a firearm. Those are Class X felonies. Mandatory minimum sentence is 6 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections with a maximum of 30 years on each count. Given that he now stands before this court as a convicted felon, we ask that you revoke his bond.
All right, bail will be revoked. All right, I'm going to order a pre-sentence investigation. All right, take a look. All right, order court, October 31st, 2018. All right. We'll have him visit. No, okay. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Court in recess.
All right.
Right now there is absolutely nuts. There were small cheers throughout the piece of absolutely erupted as soon as the judge wrapped up in the court. We've actually seen cars coming by car number one. But as this is going on, follow her, follow her, follow her.
Yes.
Sacrificed our lives. For the last few years, we've all caught cases. We've all been in the criminal justice system. Vote for Laquan McDonald.
Right.
Right. Well, as you guys saw probably live on air, I hope that shot was being taken. You have the demonstrators that were out here, about a handful of them. Obviously, you heard cheers, you heard the screaming.
A black life has finally mattered. And once again, I want to.
Pleased with this verdict. There are several demonstrators speaking at this time. I can't hear what they're saying, but this is the scene right outside of the courthouse.
Gary McCarthy is gone.
Yes!
Rahm Emanuel is gone.
Hold on, wait. Rahm Emanuel said he's not running again, but he needs to resign today.
Your reaction to the verdict. I need to resign today. Your reaction?
At this time, I will say this. Again, as I was saying earlier, there were more members of the media here and officers than demonstrators and people who, citizens who just came out to hear this verdict. So I would say I counted earlier about 12 people who were out here with signs, and those being the demonstrators and whatnot. So about 12, you compare that to the many officers that are out here. Some would say that it could be quite underwhelming when it comes to the amount of demonstrators that they were expecting. That's why we have the barricades out here and the amount of officers. But nonetheless, a very loud crowd still. And again, I'm just trying to hear what they're saying here.
As a black mother, my children can walk the streets and not be afraid of these terrorists. The taser's on the way. Stop shooting our baby. That's why these kids run. Stop shooting our baby.
This is different. We were not satisfied. Every single count that carries 6 years to 30 years per count, that means he can be sentenced 30 years times 16. Therefore, he can still go to jail for the rest of his life. Right. That is what we're looking at, and those charges represent that.
And that makes it bearable.
This is justice for Laquan. Is this justice for Laquan?
This is a step in the right direction. We will let the activist who was in front of this, William Calloway, and the family decide that. But this is a step in the right direction, and it feels damn good to finally have justice. And I just want to say this: free Matt Ross. Let Matt Ross out.
This was the verdict you wanted. What do you say to other people who want to hit the streets? What do you say to
This is not the verdict. This is not the verdict.
This is not the end.
This is not the verdict that we wanted, but it's a step in the right direction. But we may still get the results that we want.
What else do you want?
Outside of Rahm Emanuel leaving office today, We want to see Jason Van Dyke go to jail for the rest of his life. And it would have been easier to say, okay, he has a family, but he sat in that courtroom with no remorse. He lied on the stand. He was unapologetic and showed no humility or humanity. Those kind of cops, he got what he deserved.
What do you say to the jury? What do you say to the jury that made this decision? The first time in years that a police officer has been convicted on murder.
They are the real heroes in the matter because they're the ones who saw the information and made what we feel is the right decision. But to the jury, I want to thank you because number one, you're registered to vote. Number two, you served your civic duty. And number three,
Van Dyke! Guilty! 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 CPD! Guilty of conspiracy! CPD! Guilty of conspiracy! Justice for Laquan! 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 Justice for them all! Justice for them all! Justice for them all! Justice for them all! Justice for Laquan! Justice for Laquan! Justice for them all! Justice for them all! Justice for them all! Justice for them all! Van Dyke! Van Dyke! Guilty! 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 CPD! Guilty of conspiracy! CPD! Guilty of conspiracy! CPD! Guilty of conspiracy! CPD! Guilty of conspiracy! Justice for Laquan! Justice for Laquan! Justice for Laquan! Justice for Laquan! Justice for Laquan!
Folks, we need to stay on the sidewalk, please. Thank you. Folks, we need to go on the sidewalk, please. Thank you.
They finance everything that takes injury for 17 or 14 hours even met. We adopted Laquan McDonald and made this movement continue until we saw that we saw that cover of William Calloway and Reg Smith off of that video. And we took that video and said, Alvarez, you got to go. And took her out. Gary McCarthy, you got to go. Rama Manuel took him out. Rama Manuel got to go. You're trying to run away. No, he needs to go. We're taking our city back. Today, we're taking our city back. Chicago is now ours. After Laquan McDonald.
Time as we celebrate his 77th birthday, he will be talking more about our analysis of this case. I did not get to speak to them immediately. They were taken out of the courtroom, so I don't know. They will have to share their personal reactions in response. I don't speak on behalf of the entire black community, but as a lawyer and a pastor, I believe that this is a reasonable verdict. Certainly, most people wanted a first-degree conviction. But with second degree and the aggravated battery guilty, he will get jail time. How much, that is something that the judge will decide after a pre-sentence investigation of the defendant has been conducted. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you. Huh? Excuse me.
Hey guys, good. Yeah, Jamie Kalven. Kalven.